Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently down 2.33% to 23,216. Ethereum is down 3.56% to 1708. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as links to the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass, the tax software I use, and you can always directly message me on Twitter at any time. Also, the scholarship application link is in the description of this video. The CTKS Creed primes our mind for profitability, and this is what you can say for yourself. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention, and this is what I actually teach inside the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass. First of all, we mark up our charts with the CTKS method. Then we look at outside trends, outside the crypto market, checking the stock markets and world events, collecting probabilities, just like a really good detective. And then we hop back into the crypto market, finding the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily, and enhancing our pattern recognition. But before we buy or sell, we must come from a place of mastery of emotional control. Because if we don't master emotional control, our trades and investments will be out of control. Rule 225: Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. Masterclass students, in LV19, you'll get a deep explanation of this chart. What we can actually see, we've come up and tested this resistance line in the Nasdaq, and I'll go through the S&P, the Dow, and the Russell a little bit later on. What we anticipated is that we would come up, test this resistance line, hopefully do a moderate pullback just to make price action very, very healthy, and then charge through this resistance line. Of course, we can't assume that that's immediately going to happen. What about if we get another down leg? What could that look like? With BORSOG ANF, we're not concerned about what happens in the market because we know that we have a three-dimensional strategy. We know that we control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. It's kind of like a traffic light. We first consider the red. If price goes against us, then we consider the amber or the yellow. What if it goes nowhere? What if it's neutral? And finally the green. Finally the green. Not firstly the green, finally the green. What if it goes for us? With this in mind, I thought that I would share a little bit of new analysis with you. When I talk about an ANF strategy, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Having a look at what you will do if price goes for you, goes against you, or goes neutral. And this is focused on the Nasdaq 100. We saw that we had a rally up about 17.73% and then a decrease of about 27% over 78 days. From that base, we've come up quite nicely, up about 21%. But now what happens? What could happen? And with BORSOG, you're always thinking against, neutral, for. That's the BORSOG ANF when it comes to your positioning. Also understanding that opportunities reset by the minute. You want to stack your probabilities and you want probabilistic fearlessness as well. This is what we teach inside the masterclass. Now looking at the potential ANF strategies that we have, let's have a look at the against strategy for now. We could come down about 4.36% and test this upward support line. That would be very, very healthy if we were to do that. And what about the 4? We could come up about 2.58% and test this resistance line. So we've got our very short-term intermediate ANF strategy. But what if we lost this support line? Probably we would be coming down to test this low. That could be about a 15.19% reduction. But what about if we actually get through that? What we'd be looking at next is a test of this 8.63% level, just this particular resistance level through here, and a higher one at 16.84%. But what if we lost this bottom, and what if we started to do another action like this? If we lose this bottom area, we could come down to this support line, potentially about 10,000. Don't forget this is on the Nasdaq. Or we could come down a little bit further. We could see a 28.33% drop. Now, of course, this is a worst case scenario. We're not saying that this is going to happen. What you do when you're a professional trader and a professional investor, because we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, we put the lay of the land out on our charts. We want to understand where things could go. Price action itself will reveal what ANF strategy is actually working, but we're thinking across these three dimensions at the one time. Price always reveals its own momentum. Remember, we cannot control the market. We can only control our reaction to what the market does. Let's come across to Bitcoin, because that's what we're interested in, and see what could be potentially happening here. I want to draw your attention to these two down spikes. One happened in this particular area and one happened in this particular area. Note that when we had this spike down, it was followed by a larger movement down. We had this spike, a larger movement down. We're going to be keeping our eye on if we get a spike like this down. It will help us to understand the ANF strategy that we should abide by. We can see with Bitcoin, we've got some comparative moves. For example, when the Nasdaq was coming down, and you can see that the Nasdaq is this gray line. When the Nasdaq was coming down, Bitcoin came down 52.31%. Then it rallied 46%. Bitcoin came down 63.52% and then came up about 31.7%. That's just to the current time and period right now. Of course, it did come up a little bit higher than that, but what I'm just doing is focusing and centering on where we're at right now. Let's have a look at our ANF strategy. If we lose this particular support, and it looks like we're just about there, what we could expect is a very healthy retracement to this support line. That could be around the 9% mark. That's going against us. What about if we came down to the bottom? That's about a 23.74% reduction. And what about if we sold off dramatically and lost this bottom? That's about a 46.54%. These things should not terrify you, and there's a very, very good reason for that. I'll actually show you. If we get negative price momentum, we get on the right side of the percentage, and you can BORSOG incredibly well. Professional investors and traders know that they must keep on the right side of the percentage. For example, if we drop down to this 9% mark and then just came back to the current price, that's down 9%. What is it up? It's up 12.57%. This is what you want to keep in mind. This is an amazing thing. When you actually look at price, it can give you such an outstanding risk to return ratio. What if we drop down from where we are now to this particular 23.74% level and then just came back to the current price? That's 34.82%. And what if we drop down to this 46.54%? The movement up is 90.8%. This is why we don't concern ourselves with negative price momentum. It's our best friend. And the way to do this is to understand BORSOG, which is buying on red, selling on green, rule 621. And also rule 4, price moves in waves. You can see price moving in a wave up and down, up and down. So many people in our beloved global family have done so incredibly well over recent price action. Price is always moving in a wave. There are always BORSOG opportunities. That's the negative side. What about the positive side? We could get a rally up 13.63% up. And that would test a particular level of resistance that goes a little bit way back on that side. And then we could get a further rally up, for example, to 34.71%. Or we could get a higher rally up just to this level of resistance just through here, which would be 82.86%. You can see in the crypto market, percentages move around pretty wildly, but if you can get on the right side of the percentage, you will be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Don't be scared of the red. Thank you, Lena, for your very insightful comment. Hi, Ken. The jobs report has me concerned. It seems like the Fed is backed into a corner for longer than most thought. You can't stop inflation when businesses have to compete for employees. If you add on the $1 trillion inflation bill along with the microchip bill, we can't seem to stop printing money. It seems like businesses are going to have to start competing with government for employees. I think the market will pump for a month and then continue down. BORSOG is probably the only way to make money in these unique times. It's really nice to see you helping people out. It's very likely a trader's market for the next 2 or maybe 3 years. Thanks, Lena. I do believe that BORSOG is the way to make money out of these markets, and you will need patience because we've got a negatively biased market. And we talked a lot about patience in yesterday's episode, and I'll bring some quotes out on that later on. When looking across the markets, we can see fear is starting to come back into the market, and that's causing the major indices to sell off. Please be aware that there's a very major support line, especially in the Nasdaq, at 12,847. What have we seen? Bond prices are starting to increase. This is like a flight to safety. What about bond yields? They're starting to decrease because mathematically these two invert each other. And when you look at gold prices, measuring geopolitical risk, gold is going up. We must be aware that gold has been pumping ever since Taiwan has entered the news. Potentially, there could be an invasion. Could be. And what do we notice about the DXY, the dollar? The dollar is increasing, but it's not shooting up. But the very fact that gold is rallying now, gold loves a crisis, so we need to dig more deeply into that. And what can we see with oil? Oil is starting to overcome this once resistance, moving into support. And we see that junk bonds are starting to roll over. This means that the risk propensity inside the market is lowering. That means prices are coming down. What is causing gold to spike? There's been increased military action from China around Taiwan, and we've been covering it for the past few days. The news likes to be incredibly sensationalistic, so what I do is I want to share facts with you. When there is a war, all the air traffic clears out of that area. If we look at Ukraine, this tells the story of what a war looks like. Is there a war right now between China and Taiwan? Absolutely not, or this would become deserted. I always want to give you the very, very best information quality that I can find. And if we look at marine traffic, this particular strait, this is the Taiwan Strait. The Taiwan Strait holds a lot of marine traffic. So much marine traffic, in fact, if there was a war, all of this marine traffic would be cleared out. We're not seeing that right now. It's important to understand the geopolitical and economic ramifications of a war between China and Taiwan. And I don't care about politics. I'm independent of that. I'm a trader. And so as a trader, I just look at the statistics. Now, what is this war, potential war, would be about? Every product with electronics needs a semiconductor to work. Just think about all the oil wars throughout the Middle East, because oil was the dominant thing that people needed to make money. And now it's chips, and in fact, microprocessors. It's potentially a hidden thing that a lot of people don't know. US firms such as Nvidia, Qualcomm, and Apple outsource almost all of their chip manufacturing to Taiwan. Taiwan, the major chip manufacturer, is TSMC, and TSMC is a dominant producer. It actually produces 92%, Taiwan produces 92% of the world's most advanced chips. And this is really, really interesting because in 1990, the USA had 80% of the chip manufacturing globally. Now it's got less than 12%. Because of one equation, revenue less expenses equals profit. The US outsourced and other countries outsourced because they wanted to lower their costs, and now we're dealing with what that actually caused. There's a big difference in semiconductor chips. Some are very, very high-end advanced chips, others are low-end. Most of the other countries produce low-end chips, such as the US and China. It's actually Taiwan and South Korea, through Samsung, that produced almost all of the advanced chips in the world. And it could be very easy to see South Korea getting pulled into a conflict, a cascading conflict. If China was to try to take over Taiwan, I believe North Korea would try to reunify South Korea as well. You can see with Google Maps, this is Taiwan, and just a little bit away, Samsung, just in here in South Korea. This can give you some sort of concept as to why gold is actually getting through all of this resistance. When it gets up to around 1830, it has some relatively clean air because it's got through all of this selling resistance. So let's keep our eye on gold. This will inform us where the geopolitical risk is increasing or decreasing. Hopefully it will decrease. But we have our ANF strategy in play anyway, and we know how percentages work. It's fairly hard to have a lot of fear if you're prepared. If we look, for example, at the Nasdaq, and it doesn't hold this particular support line, we know that that is weak. It will come down further, potentially around 15%. Potentially, it could bottom out before then. But if it gets through this particular resistance line, it also has some fairly clear air in front of it. So we can't get too pessimistic, we can't get too optimistic. We just have to let price come to us. Let price reveal itself to you. And of course, don't panic in the process. One thing to continuously keep in your mind, when things go down, for example, if you buy a particular crypto or you bought a stock at $10 and it goes to $5, it decreased 50%. But if it goes from 5 back up to 10, it increased 100%. This is why we want to get on the right side of the percentage. You can be on the wrong side of the trade and on the right side of the percentage, and you will make a lot of money. We look at Bitcoin because of Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Global crypto market cap is down 2.5% from yesterday, down to 1.10 trillion. The greatest gainers over the past 24 hours, Mina up 6.3%, this is in the top 100. Nexo up 4.36%, Celsius up 4%, whoa, 2.69% now. ZEC up 3%, Leo up 3%. The greatest losers over the past 24 hours, CRV down nearly 10%, HNT, Helium down around 8%, Filecoin 7.6% down, Kusama 7% down, Rose 7.6% down, and Synthetics about 7% down. Rule 774, master yourself to master the market. Emotional mastery is incredibly important. When people get into the crypto market or any financial market, they go through the panic zone, zone 1, the blame zone, conflict zone, zone 2, and then they get into probability and rules, zone 3, and mastering their fear, zone 4. Zone 4 and zone 3 are where you want to live. Zone 1 and zone 2 are very expensive, both in terms of stress and financial losses. To get to zone 3 and zone 4 and to stay there, because it's incredibly important to stay in zone 3 and zone 4, we use positive excellence as a global community. We maintain real wealth foundations such as learning, humility, gratitude, happiness, kindness, integrity, and decency. If I look back at the crypto market, the people who actually pulled the pin on crypto had very low integrity. And I'm talking about different founders. This is a big problem. If you ever see a founder and that founder doesn't have integrity, a founder of a project, stay away from that crypto. It will implode at some stage. This is a cost of a lack of integrity. Money and success follow good foundations. If you've got the right foundations, it will come to you because of the character strength that you build. Because trading and investing is so emotional, it's very important to get your mind correct. Patience is learning and humility in action. And our beloved global family commentated on what patience is like and how it's actually applied, which is really important. Rajat said, patience is akin to seeing a mango tree bear fruit after 4 to 5 years. In the initial years, it establishes its roots. If we focus on learning with humility, we establish a strong and clear foundation. There's so many fantastic comments. I wish I could read them all out. Tails talked about patience. It means taking the stress out of your trading. Observe until we see a clear path and can move forward with confidence. Of course, this only works when we realize that opportunities reset daily. Thank you, Tails. CJ Johnson said patience is approaching the market or any difficult problem with an open mind and humility. Consider all the probabilities, interpret the patterns, research the relationships. If it goes for you or against, have the humility to see what is true and to find out how to do it better. Don't blame yourself or others. Every problem solved is a new rule for your trading bank. Nice one, CJ. Many people see price action moving against them like a personal attack. It is not a personal attack. It's price moving. And prices move in markets, and price doesn't know you. It will never know you. You cannot take it personally. And a lot of people think, oh, I should have known. It's like, I should have picked next week's lotto winners. I knew, I did when I saw what the numbers were. You can't do things like that. It's exactly the same with the markets. All you can do is to assess what the relative strength and relative weaknesses are and have patience to see things play out. There's a very strong directional correlation between the major US indices, for example, the Nasdaq and Bitcoin. We have to be very, very aware of this at the moment. We always see that the longs and shorts have a field day with each other. What was happening recently, the shorts rallied up and kept on getting liquidated. So they said, I'm out of here. And the longs said, got your shorts, I'm coming in. And the shorts said, nah, I got you longs, and it sold off. And this is exactly what happened. This is why we seek to understand how the longs and the shorts are interacting with each other through liquidations. There was 195.18 million in total liquidations across the past 24 hours, across 78,535 positions. And when we look to the past 24 hours of liquidations, total liquidations, about 85% of those were long liquidations. Coming down past 12 hours, about 82% long. And the past 4 hours, it went the other way, 73% short. And the past hour gone the other way again, 84% long. What you want to keep in mind, if you're using leverage, it's just a question of time until you get liquidated. I hope I show that just each and every day. We must keep our eyes on these statistics. They're really important, but don't become a statistic as well. And we can see a lot of longs have got whacked about the head by the shorts. The shorts and the longs are always whacking each other. We know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. For example, Bitcoin's gravity is this blue line. You can see it across Ethereum, Binance Coin, XRP. And if you're new to our global family, a very, very warm welcome. And you might just want to leave a comment and just say hi. We'd love to hear from you. What we can see with Bitcoin's gravity at the moment, Ethereum is stronger. It's over-exaggerating the upward movement and under-exaggerating the downward movement. What about Binance Coin? Binance Coin is on romping duty. It's doing really, really well. Look at that. Bitcoin went flat in here and Binance Coin said, nah, I'm going to rally. But we know no alt can escape the gravity of Bitcoin. So just bear that one in mind. XRP, we can see XRP just in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity at the moment. ADA is in alignment, current alignment around the current price, as is Solana. Doge, just a little bit stronger, potentially just on par, and DOT, just following Bitcoin's gravity. The reason I invented BORSOG trading was to help people to actually win and learn. To do that, BORSOG is all about just choosing a very small position size to go in with and get in synchronization with the market. It's not like hodling. It's not like dollar cost averaging. It's nothing like that. You're not seeking to buy bottoms and to sell tops. You're not doing anything of that nature. You're seeking to get an emotional connection to the market and see how those emotions play out on you. If you put a small amount of money into the market, you're going to feel those emotions. And when you find that you're not in synchronization, it's really important to have patience and humility. Humility opens up the lesson for you from the loss. And if you're just going in at a small position size to start with, to get your synchronization in play, that learning can be very, very cheap. Mastering emotional control is so critically important. Flamingo said, patience is all about because all good things take time. We should be patient with ourselves, with others, and with the process of carrying out a task. Humility relates to not taking yourself too seriously. Don't boast and don't berate yourself. Berate yourself just means criticize. And Mello said, learning is about going slow to go fast. If you go slow, take your time. You will understand the lessons much quicker than someone rushing to get to the end. Generally, these people have holes in their knowledge and have to go back. And this is a really good thing to think about. Just take your time. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And let's have a look at some of those community favorites. Gifto, GTO. We can see Gifto is very spiky by nature. It's over-exaggerating some of these spikes up, but it does it along the path. It's very interesting to see when these spikes occur and how you might take advantage of them. It's interesting, the GTO does not spike when you have a peaking of Bitcoin's price. It occurs before that, about midway up, or sometimes as it's coming down. Very, very interesting. Thank you to the beloved community member who reached out and said, can I have a GTO? Of course you can. Let's have a look at Chainlink. Look at Chainlink. It's absolutely romping away. And this is what you will see. Some of the alts, about 1%, will start to escape Bitcoin's gravity. They're really, really good to keep your eye on. And you might think that you can't make any money if Bitcoin goes down and the entire crypto market goes down. You can. 99% can go down, but that 1% tends to have concentrated value. So just keep that in mind. If you're selecting your cryptos really, really well, you'll find that you can find winners even in down markets. Rose, how's Rose going? Rose is really romping along there. What about TWT? It's romping as well just now, starting to retrace. What about MDX? Very spiky by nature. These spikes can be really good because you can set your buy order, get it filled, and then immediately set your sell order to try and take advantage of these spikes. You don't need to get the top of a spike to be a winner. You can get any level of a spike and you're automatically a winner. If you make profit, you're a winner. Just think about it like that. And when we look at bank interest is literally non-existent at the moment. What do we see with Theta? Theta token doing quite well. Got above Bitcoin's gravity, now getting pulled back into it. LDO has been on a rampage and it's certainly a lot stronger than Bitcoin's gravity. And that's what we actually love about the alts. The alts are our favorites because we can get in and over-exaggerate the upward move. But beware, when we get a downward move, the alts can sell off much, much harder than Bitcoin. And they do, because Bitcoin is it's like a very big ship, and the alts are like little mini sailboats. Just keep that in mind. They've all got different sizes. And what do we see with Phantom? Just coming into alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Thanks so much for everybody requesting their favorite coins. And I would suggest just write down what you would like to see tomorrow in the top 8, and I'll pop them in for you. First in, best dressed. Spencer had a really good statement. Humility is showing strength when something has not gone your way. Fantastic. I'd like to thank everybody for their fantastic comments. You're just such a wonderful, wonderful global family. And Dan, well done on signing up for the masterclass. I'm only 6 lessons deep, but I can already tell the learning will be exponential. And Badger said, the masterclass knowledge is amazing and absolutely life-changing. Thanks so much, everyone. And Beardy said, I came for the knowledge and also stayed for the wisdom and awesome people in the community. We have an incredible global family, and it's very non-toxic. Someone you know said, if anyone is considering learning more, invest in yourself and get the masterclass. It's much cheaper than the losses you will inevitably suffer if you're in the market without guidance. Be ready to put in the work and learn a lot, far more than I could have ever expected. Thank you, my friend. And thanks to everybody who makes a comment. And if you're new to the community, please just reach in and say hi. We'd love to say hello to you. And I love this particular quote or comment from someone you know. You can't bake a cake or grow a baby or a garden without patience. You are only able to harvest and reap the rewards of your investment in time, energy, and skill when combined with time. And that part cannot be rushed. Well done, my friend. And hey, Beardy. There are so many fantastic comments. I just wish I could read every single one of them. Let me know Barry had a very, very good comment. Having patience does not mean non-action. It's more of a calm awareness that allows one to focus and to then take action at the correct time. Changing lanes whilst driving would be a great example. Some of us are very calm behind the wheel and in no race, picking lane changes as they come and gaining ground. Others are in a huge race, constantly changing lanes, braking behind others and going no place fast. If all drivers would exercise a little more patience, they may be able to see through the traffic and gain a bit more ground. And CJ said, impatiently changing lanes always lead to losses, and like road rage, it leads to blaming others. We don't want any rage or any negative emotions because they adversely affect our work. We can see with the markets at the moment, there is a degree of uncertainty globally. That's why it's really important to have our BORSOG ANF strategy active. I thought a really good thing to chat about in the comments, something that could help so many different people, the concept of uncertainty, how you deal with uncertainty. When you look at a market like this and you have so many options, what option do you choose and how do you go about doing that? If you think about it, the comment section in YouTube is absolutely like a private community, but you don't pay for it. We share things because sharing those things really helps people out. So we want you to be successful. We want everybody to be successful. But the only way to become successful is to have the knowledge and then have the emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is very, very understated and very important to have. If you don't have that, you'll buy and sell at the wrong times. With what is happening globally, we're just aware of it and we mark up our ANF charts and we say, okay, we know that if price comes down, for example, 50% and it just regains that, it goes up 100%. We want to be part of those 100% gains and we get there by thinking in advance with ANF. So dealing with uncertainty would be a fantastic thing to have a chat about. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the community, please reach out and you can just say hi. That would be fantastic to hear from. Thank you for tuning in. I love sharing this time together. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and links to the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass. Please seek out an ambassador to get 80% off. And if you're in financial hardship, you can apply for the partial scholarship. The link is also in the description. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now, and please let me know if there is a particular crypto you'd like me to cover in the next 8 for the community. Okay, have a great one.